Watchmaking Lathe Gravers.
This is not a tutorial.
This is not a tutorial, rather it is my first attempt at sharpening my new old stock Waller Watchmaking Lathe Graver. Look at the sun streaming in on my new Waller graver with an extra nib. So we're going to try to sharpen this graver today so we can use it on our new lathe. I'm going to try sharpening it on this. This is a 400 and 600 grit diamond stone, and this of all things is a chisel sharpener, and it's made to sharpen shop chisels, but it has this internal groove here that I think we'll be able to slip the graver into. And that should line up in the little holes, in those little slots. Something like that. And then we'll set angle, and then we will sharpen it on the sharpening stone. And I'm going to use not Lysol, but rather Windex. Boy, that's way too bright. All right, hold on. So, first order of business is seeing if we can get the correct angle using this tool. So, who amongst us doesn't love tools? I want to find out just how flat my work area is. So, front to back, I think my desk is perfectly level. And let's see, side to side, 0.2 degrees of tilt left to right. So I think we're probably going to be fine. I'm going to see if I could use this gauge just to judge an angle once we get the graver situated in the holder. I'll do a quick sideways check here to make sure that we're not actually grinding the bottom of the grinding tool. And there we go, we have some clearance, but you can see that the angle on the graver is still more acute, less acute. And there we are. Quick check. Yes, we still have clearance there. Oh, look at that, 41.8, 41.42. Let's call it 42, and let's call that good enough for learning how to use a lathe. So take a look at that tip. Can you see how there's multiple facets on that tip? We're going to see if we can bring that down to something more usable. And I like to use Windex when I sharpen. We're going to start on the coarse side, and I'm just going to try to even out the tip. So I feel like this is rotating. Oh, damn. You know what's going on here? Hold on. All right, learning moment. Here's the deal. Here's what happened. See that? This wasn't tightened. And so it's rotating. So I centered up on this, but I didn't tighten this. All right, let me see if I can find myself a crossbar and tighten that down. All right, growing pains. Okay, we're back. There's a bunch of stuff going on here. So let's just pause for a minute. First thing is the tip being loose. I just found a nail that's the right size. You can drop that in, and there we go. We can now get some torque on there and really make sure that the tip is on there so it doesn't rotate when we mount it up here. But I decided to get the microscope into action, and let's take a look at this tip, because I have to tell you, I'm glad I looked at it under the microscope. Here, we'll look at the diamond side, the side that we just started sharpening first. And you can see from that edge, you see how we're starting a new bevel, but it was rotated, so it's just on that one side. Now the goal is, so from this angle, it should look like a perfect diamond. But this tip has a surprise waiting for us on the other side. And that surprise is, it's damaged. See that divot right there? If we brought that tip back to there, we're going to end up in a void. So the only way I can see making this graver usable would be to grind the angle back like that far. And there's no way I'm going to do that on that little diamond stone. I'm going to have to take that to my larger bench grinder. And then I'll have to be careful about adding too much heat to this tip. We want to keep it at the right temper. But anyway, I'm glad I looked at this under the microscope, because this is just crap. Let's take a look at the other tip that came with the graver. So there's the other tip. For whatever it's worth, when I bought this graver, I bought it on eBay. The seller said handle plus 2 NOS new old stock tips. And this is anything but new old stock. This is just OS, old stock. So let's take a look at this other new old stock tip under the scope and see if we can get a nice sharp point on this. A nice shiny diamond. What do you think? Let's see. Let's bring it into focus. There we go. And do you think this will live up to the reputation of new old stock? What do you think? And there's the tip. Damn it! I'm crying bullshit. I'm sorry, I don't like to curse on these videos, but this is bullshit. This is not new old stock. Look at that chunk right out of the top of this graver tip. Bullshit, new old stock bullshit. This video is getting demonetized, I know it, but I'm crying bullshit, and I'm just ticked off. All right, now I'm not going to say who the seller was on this. I'm just going to put it back in the box and see if I can find another method for now of coming up with a sharp graver so I can use my new lathe. But I cry bullshit. This is not new old stock. Buyer beware. I'm back. Desperation move. I have this. This was just in my toolbox. So I'm just going to go like this and work this for a while, and then I'll flip it over. And we'll go to the smooth side. Yeah, this is going to be ugly. This is not about form. This is not a tutorial. This is I don't know what this is, and I don't know how this is going to turn out. So let's just get an edge on here, following the existing angle, which feels close to 45. And we actually have some nice shiny new metal there. All right, We're going to flip it. Let's go to the 600 side. Should we take a look at it under the microscope? All right. This side here is dished. And I'm not really convinced that that's sharp enough to cut. So I would need to, yeah, this is an interesting exercise in grinding here. This top part here is dished. So there's a curve here. Someone tried to put a hook on this. On this side, it's straight, except for that little dish down there. I tried flattening here. Yeah, just not working. I'm unable to get a point on here. So here's the deal. I ordered some new stock, some 3/16 high-speed steel stock. Rather than using this, I'm going to see if I could put it in here. I'm hoping that when I get the bar stock, it's 2.5 inches long by 3/16 inch diameter square. So I should be able to put it in here with, I guess that's about 1.5 inches sticking out. And that will make a 45-degree angle down there on the bottom. And I should be able to work that with enough sticking out here that I could still hold on to it with this sharpener. So once we get the bar stock and we have it all mounted up in the sharpener, this is the Sharpening Action. Take a peek at the angle. How we doing? Pretty close. Okay, good stuff. You know, so here's the thing. Let me wrap this up. Getting into this whole watchmaker lathe discipline, it's been exciting, it's been fun, but one of the frustrating things is they haven't made these in forever. I wish there was like a watchmaker lathe section at my local hardware store, but since that really doesn't exist, you know, you have to work with the used market. And my frustration today, and by the way, thanks for letting me vent. So you're dealing with this used aftermarket, and you know, condition, I suppose, is buyer beware. And I am now much more aware. So good news, the lathe is complete. The motor has been rebuilt. I've got lots and lots of video footage, and I'll be bringing you a series of videos edited into smaller digestible chunks. And you know, I'm just very excited about learning this, and I'm excited about having you along for the journey. I'm Mike. The channel is Watch with Mike. Thanks for joining me, and I look forward to your comments in the space below. Talk to you soon.